For context, I'm 32 and my wife, well technically girlfriend, we've been living together for over 2 years, but it feels like marriage, is 28. Let's call her Anna. We've been together for almost 4 years now. When we moved in together, it felt perfect. She was funny, smart, and absolutely gorgeous. The kind of woman that makes people do double takes in public. I always felt a little out of my league, but she never made me feel that way. She'd always tell me, "I don't care about money or looks, I love you for you." And I believed her. Life was stable. Not amazing, not bad, just comfortable. We had our routines. I worked in IT, remote most of the time, and she worked part-time at a coffee shop. She said she liked the flexible schedule, and I didn't question it. Money was tight sometimes, but nothing we couldn't handle. Or so I thought. The first sign that something was off was so subtle I didn't even notice at the time. About 6 months ago, Anna started spending more time in the bedroom with the door closed. She said she was watching shows, just relaxing. I didn't think much of it. She was always a bit introverted, so I figured she needed her alone time. Then there were the new clothes. Lingerie mostly. She said she bought them for me, but she rarely wore them with me. I asked about it once jokingly, and she said, "Oh, I just like feeling sexy for myself." Again, I didn't question it. But if I'm being honest, something inside me knew things were changing. We were still close, still affectionate, but there was this distance. Like a wall I couldn't see, but could feel. I chalked it up to stress. We all go through phases, right? Looking back now, those were the first cracks. But at the time, I didn't see the storm coming. It happened on a Thursday night. I remember because I had a late call with a client and didn't leave my desk until almost midnight. Normally, Anna would already be asleep by then. She's always been an early sleeper. But that night, her door was closed. Yes, her door. Lately, she'd been spending more time in the second bedroom we had converted into her personal space. She said it was for reading, yoga, self-care. I didn't mind. Everyone needs their little bubble. I was walking to the kitchen when I heard her laugh. Not just any laugh, but the flirty kind, light, playful, almost fake. The kind of laugh you give when you're trying to impress someone. I froze. It wasn't like Anna to stay up late, and it definitely wasn't like her to laugh like that when she was supposedly relaxing. I stood there for a second, feeling stupid for eavesdropping, but something in me said, "Listen." Then I heard her voice. "Do you like that, baby?" My heart dropped into my stomach. I didn't hear the other voice, maybe headphones? Or was she talking to herself? No, that didn't make sense. My mind started racing. Is she cheating? Is there someone on FaceTime? On the phone? I didn't want to believe it. My chest felt tight, my head buzzing. I didn't open the door. Instead, I just walked back to the living room and sat on the couch in the dark like an idiot, staring at the blank TV screen. After maybe 20 minutes, she came out, wearing an oversized hoodie and leggings. Her hair was tied up, and she looked normal. Like nothing happened. She kissed me on the cheek and said, "You're still up? Come to bed." I forced a smile and nodded. Inside, I was screaming. That night, I barely slept. My mind was replaying that laugh, that voice, those words. "Do you like that, baby?" What the hell was that? The next morning, I decided to let it go. I told myself I was overthinking. I've always had a jealous streak, and I didn't want to be that guy. So I buried it. But deep down, I knew something was wrong. 2 weeks passed after that night. 2 weeks of me convincing myself it was nothing. 2 weeks of smiling like everything was fine while my brain kept replaying that voice, those words. Then, the universe decided to rip the bandage off. It was a Saturday morning. Anna had gone to the gym early, and I was cleaning up the apartment. She'd left her laptop on the kitchen counter, still open. Normally, I never touch her stuff. We trusted each other. Or, I thought we did. But then a notification popped up on the screen. A little pink icon in the corner. I'd never seen it before. The message preview read, "Your top fan just tipped you 500 tokens." I froze. Tokens? Top fan? My stomach churned. I clicked. I shouldn't have, but I did. And there it was. Her account. Username, Anna Loves You XO. Profile picture, her face. My girlfriend. Wearing lingerie I had never seen before. She was live. Streaming. The tab showed her camera feed, but since she wasn't there, it was just the empty chair in the corner of her personal space room. The chat was still active, guys typing stuff like, "When are you coming back, baby? Can't wait to see that smile again." My hands were shaking so hard I almost dropped the laptop. I clicked through her profile. Custom videos for sale. A wish list full of expensive stuff, some of which I'd seen arriving in packages over the last few months. She'd told me they were gifts from friends, or things she bought on sale. Then I saw the earnings tab. Thousands of dollars. Thousands. My heart was pounding in my throat. My ears were ringing. It was like the ground had disappeared under me. I don't even remember how long I stood there, staring at the screen. I felt sick, angry, betrayed, confused. Was this cheating? Was this just work? I didn't know. All I knew was that my world didn't make sense anymore. And the worst part, she was good at it. The photos, the captions, all designed to make men feel special. The same words she used on me. That's when I heard the door unlock. She was home. I heard the door click open, and for a split second, I considered closing the laptop and pretending I didn't see anything. Just keep living in the lie, right? But something inside me snapped. She walked in, hair tied up, gym bag over her shoulder, looking like the same sweet girl I'd been living with for 2 years. She smiled when she saw me. "Hey babe, you're up early." I didn't smile back. "Anna," I said, my voice tighter than I wanted it to be. "What the hell is this?" I turned the laptop toward her. Her smile froze. For a moment, she just stared at the screen. Then she looked at me, and her eyes didn't look guilty. Didn't look scared. Just annoyed. She sighed. "Okay, so you found out. That's it. That's it. No panic, no apology. Just so you found out." I felt my chest burning. "What the FK, Anna? You're a f***ing cam model," she said, finishing my sentence like it was no big deal. "Not a prostitute. Not cheating. Just camming. Just camming." I could feel my voice rising. "You've been," I pointed at the screen. "You've been showing yourself to random guys for money? And you didn't think to King tell me?" She put the bag down and crossed her arms, like I was the one being unreasonable. "I didn't tell you because I knew you'd react like this," she said. "It's just work, okay? It's not like I'm sleeping with anyone. It's a job. I make good money. I'm not in debt. I'm helping us." Helping us. Those words hit like a slap. Helping us? By taking your clothes off for strangers? By calling them baby? My voice cracked. "What the hell, Anna?" She rolled her eyes. "You're being dramatic. It's not personal. I don't care about those guys. I love you." I stared at her. My chest felt hollow, like something had been ripped out. "You love me, but you spend hours talking dirty to random dudes online for money?" She shrugged, like it was nothing. "Yeah, because it's work. Just like strippers have boyfriends. Just like actresses do sex scenes. It's not real. It's a performance. That's all it is." I couldn't speak. I just stood there shaking. My head was spinning. Finally, I managed to say, "How long?" "About 6 months," she said calmly. Calmly. Like we were talking about the weather. "And you didn't think that maybe I deserved to know?" Her voice softened for the first time. "I didn't want to fight. I didn't want to lose you. I like doing it, okay? It makes me feel confident. Powerful. And yeah, the money helps. But it's not about them. It's never about them. It's about me and us." I laughed. It wasn't a happy laugh. "Us? How the hell is this about us?" She stepped closer, reaching for my hand. I pulled away. "I love you," she said again, her voice almost pleading. "Nothing's changed. This doesn't mean what you think it means." But to me, everything had changed. Everything. After that conversation, I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I didn't throw anything. I just shut down. She kept talking, saying things like, "It's just work, and you're overreacting." I couldn't process any of it. It was like someone had pressed mute on the world. I walked past her and sat on the edge of the bed. My hands were trembling. My chest felt like it was caving in, like someone had jammed a fist inside and squeezed. 6 months. For 6 months, the woman I woke up next to every day, the woman I kissed goodnight, had been logging into some site, stripping down, and talking dirty to strangers for money. And she liked it. She enjoyed it. That thought broke me. Because it wasn't just about the nudity. It was the intimacy. The energy she gave them. The teasing, the laughing, the baby voice. Those were things I thought were just for me. Things I thought were ours. And now they were for anyone with a credit card. I sat there for hours. She came in once, tried to sit next to me, but I told her I needed space. And she respected that. Or maybe she just didn't care. I didn't sleep that night. I lay there staring at the ceiling while she slept soundly next to me. Like nothing happened. Like my entire world wasn't on fire. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw her face on that screen. Smiling. Laughing. For someone else. And the worst part, I wasn't even sure if it was cheating. That thought drove me insane. If she had kissed another man, slept with another man, it would have been clear. But this was some twisted gray area that made me question everything. Was I allowed to be this angry? Was I being controlling? Insecure? Or was this betrayal, plain and simple? I didn't know. All I knew was that something inside me had died. The next few days were hell. I didn't confront her again, not right away. We went through the motions like nothing happened. She made coffee, we ate breakfast together. She kissed me goodbye before going to the gym. It was all so normal. But I wasn't normal anymore. I became obsessed. I couldn't stop thinking about that sight, about what she did when I wasn't looking, about the men typing to her, watching her, jerking off to her. I told myself I wouldn't look again, that I'd respect my own sanity. But of course I did. The second she left the apartment, I opened her laptop. Logged in. Watched. She was live. I didn't even recognize her at first. The way she looked on camera, the confidence, the smile, the flirtation, it wasn't the Anna I knew. Or maybe it was, and I'd never seen this side of her before. She wore the red lingerie set I'd never seen in person. The one I'd found in a package a month ago. "Hi, my loves," she said in this soft, sweet tone that made my stomach twist. "Missed you guys. Missed you guys." I scrolled through the chat. Men were throwing money at her, begging her to do things. And she did. Playfully, like it was nothing. I should have closed the laptop. I should have walked away. But I couldn't. I watched for almost an hour. My hands were sweating. My heart was racing. Every smile she gave them felt like a knife. And then she said it. "Baby, you're my favorite tonight." She said it with that laugh. The same laugh that hooked me when we first met. I slammed the laptop shut so hard I thought I broke it. Then I just sat there shaking, my fists pressed against my forehead, trying not to scream. That night, when she came home, she kissed me like nothing happened. Cooked dinner. Asked about my day. And I pretended. Pretended I didn't just watch my girlfriend turn herself into someone else for thousands of strangers. I didn't recognize myself anymore. I was jealous, paranoid, angry, but also addicted to knowing. To checking. To torturing myself with the truth. I wasn't just losing her. I was losing me. It happened on a Sunday night. We'd spent the day pretending to be normal. Brunch, a walk in the park, even laughed at some stupid TikToks together. For a few hours, I almost convinced myself we were okay. But then, after dinner, she said, "I'm going to my room for a bit. Gotta catch up on some work." Work. That word hit me like a punch in the gut. I couldn't hold it in anymore. Work? You mean taking your clothes off for strangers? She froze, then turned to me slowly, eyes narrowing. "Are we really doing this again?" "Again?" I laughed bitterly. "We never stopped, Anna. You've just been acting like nothing's wrong while you. I ran my hands through my hair, trying to keep from shouting. "While you make guys come for money." Her expression hardened. "You know what? I'm done feeling guilty about this." "Guilty?" I snapped. "You don't feel guilty. You never did." "Because I'm not doing anything wrong," she shot back. "It's a job. That's all. You're acting like I'm out there king someone. I'm not. I'm in my own house, on a camera, making money without hurting anyone." I stood up so fast the chair scraped against the floor. "Not hurting anyone? Are you king kidding me, Anna? Look at me." I jabbed a finger at my chest. "You don't think this hurts me? You don't think it kills me to know my girlfriend spends hours calling other guys baby, smiling at them, pretending they're special? That's supposed to be our thing." Her jaw clenched. For a second, I thought she was going to cry. But then she said, cold as ice, "Maybe if you understood me, this wouldn't be a problem." My stomach dropped. "Understand you? You mean accept this? Accept that my girlfriend gets naked for money, and I just, what? Clap for you? It's who I am," she said quietly. "I like it. It makes me feel alive. Confident. And if you can't handle that, maybe," she trailed off. "Maybe what?" I demanded. "Maybe we're not right for each other." Those words hit like a bullet. I felt the air leave my lungs. For a long moment, we just stared at each other. My chest was heaving, my hands shaking. Finally, I said the only thing that came to mind. "So you'd rather keep doing this than be with me?" She didn't answer. She didn't have to. The silence was enough. I didn't say another word after that. I just grabbed my jacket and walked out. I didn't even know where I was going. It was freezing outside, and I didn't bring my phone charger, didn't grab my wallet, just my keys and rage. I walked until my legs burned, until the city lights blurred into nothing but noise. Every word she said replayed in my head like a broken record. It's who I am. I like it. Maybe we're not right for each other. That last one cut the deepest. She wasn't sorry. She wasn't ashamed. She wasn't even conflicted. She'd already made her choice, hadn't she? This wasn't about money anymore. It was about her. About something inside her that I couldn't reach. And the worst part, she didn't even try to fight for me. Not really. She just stood there, looking at me like I was the problem. I ended up sitting on a bench near the river, staring at the black water. For a second, I imagined what it would feel like to just disappear. To not feel this constant pounding in my chest, this crushing weight in my stomach. I thought about our first date. How nervous I was. How she smiled at me like I was the only person in the world. Back then, I felt lucky. Chosen. Special. Now, I was just another guy in the background of her life. Another nobody while she played goddess to thousands of strangers. I sat there for hours. My phone buzzed a few times, her name on the screen. I didn't answer. I couldn't. When I finally dragged myself home, it was almost 3 a.m. The apartment was dark. She was asleep in our bed, curled up like nothing happened. Like my world hadn't just fallen apart. I stood there in the doorway, watching her breathe. And for the first time, I felt like I didn't know the person lying next to me. And maybe I didn't. Something broke that night. I didn't leave her right away. I wish I had the strength to, but I didn't. Instead, I stayed. I went through the motions. But I wasn't really there anymore. She noticed. Of course she did. I stopped kissing her good morning. Stopped asking how her day was. When she tried to touch me, I stiffened. When she talked about her day, carefully avoiding the word work, I gave one-word answers. At night, I'd lie next to her and stare at the ceiling, my back turned so she couldn't see my eyes open. Sometimes I heard her sigh, like she wanted to say something, but she never did. And during the day, I became a ghost. I avoided being home when I knew she'd be streaming. I stopped logging into her account, not because I didn't want to, because I couldn't stand the pain anymore. I stopped eating with her, laughing with her, being with her. It wasn't even anger anymore. It was something worse. Numbness. I looked at her and didn't see the girl I fell in love with. I saw someone I didn't recognize. Someone who didn't care how much she was breaking me. One night, about a week after the fight, she sat next to me on the couch and said, "Are you ever going to talk to me again?" I didn't look at her. "What's there to talk about?" Her voice cracked a little. "Us. You're shutting me out." I laughed cold hollow. "Maybe because you already let thousands of guys in." She flinched like I hit her. For a second, I almost apologized. But I didn't. Because it was true. She stood up without saying a word and went to her room. A few minutes later, I heard the familiar click of her door. That sound used to mean nothing to me. Now it sounded like a gunshot. It happened on a Wednesday night. I'd been carrying it around for days, this knot in my chest that wouldn't loosen. Every time I saw her, every time I heard that damn door close, the anger bubbled up again. So I told myself, enough. She was sitting on the couch, scrolling through her phone, wearing one of my hoodies like nothing in the world was wrong. I stood in the doorway for a minute, watching her, feeling the weight of what I was about to say. "Anna," I started. My voice was steady, but my hands were shaking. She looked up, her eyes tired but soft. "Yeah." I sat down across from her, leaned forward, and said the words I'd been rehearsing in my head all day. "This has to stop. The cam stuff. All of it. Or we're done." Her face didn't change. Not at first. She just blinked, like she didn't understand. Then she laughed, not in a mean way, but like I'd just said something naive. "Babe," she said slowly. "We've been through this. It's my job." No, I shook my head hard. "It's not a job, Anna. It's destroying us. It's destroying me. I can't be with you if this is who you are." She put her phone down, her expression hardening. "So you're giving me an ultimatum?" "I'm giving you a choice," I said quietly. "Me or that." Silence. Heavy. Suffocating. She stared at me for a long time, her jaw tight. Then she asked the question that gutted me. "Why can't you just accept me for who I am?" "Because this isn't who you were," I snapped. My voice cracked, and I hated how desperate I sounded. "When we met, you didn't need this. You didn't share yourself with the whole ***king internet. That's supposed to be ours. You're supposed to be mine." Her eyes softened, just a little. "I am yours." "No," I said, shaking my head. "You're theirs, Anna. Every guy who sends you a tip. Every guy you call baby. You're not mine anymore." "Not really." She looked down at her hands. For a second, I thought she was going to cry. Then she said it. I can't quit. The words hit like a knife to the throat. Can't or won't? I whispered. Both, she said, looking right at me. I love doing it. It makes me feel alive. Powerful. And yeah, I love you too. But if you make me choose, I can't give this up. Something inside me shattered then. I stood up. My knees felt weak, like they couldn't hold me. Then I guess we're done. She didn't beg me to stay. She didn't run after me. She just sat there, silent, as I walked to the bedroom to pack a bag. I didn't sleep that night. I lay in our bed, staring at the ceiling, listening to her breathing beside me, pretending it didn't matter that in a few hours I would be gone. Morning came slowly. I packed a small bag, clothes, laptop, a few toiletries. I didn't take much. Nothing mattered anymore except getting out. She didn't try to stop me. She didn't say a word. Just watched silently as I zipped my bag and slung it over my shoulder. I walked through the apartment, looking at all the little things that used to mean so much. Our photos on the wall. The mugs with our initials. The couch where we used to cuddle on weekends. It all felt like someone else's life. Not mine. When I opened the door, the sunlight hit me like a revelation or a punishment. I paused, hand on the doorknob, and felt the weight of leaving everything behind. Not just the apartment, not just her, but the version of myself who believed love could survive anything. She said nothing, just nodded slightly. That nod hurt more than anything, like a confirmation that I had already lost. Outside, the air was cold, sharp. I took a deep breath, trying to hold on to some sense of control, some sense of self. I walked to my car, bag in hand, each step heavier than the last. The city felt empty. The streets that once held memories of laughter and shared moments now felt like strangers' streets. I drove without a destination, just needing distance. Needing space from her, from the apartment, from the girl I thought I knew. And yet, even as I left, a part of me clung to her. To us. To the idea that maybe, just maybe, things could be different if she chose me. But deep down I knew better. I had walked out of our life, and there was no going back. The first week alone was unbearable. I woke up in an empty apartment, sheets cold, the silence pressing against my skull. The coffee pot sat untouched. The smell of her shampoo lingered faintly in the bathroom. Every little thing reminded me of her, of what I had lost. I tried to keep busy, work, errands, even a friend's invitation to grab drinks, but nothing helped. My mind kept wandering back to her. To her voice, that laugh, the way she smiled at strangers online. I hated myself for it, for wanting to know, for wanting to watch her like I used to. I knew it would hurt, but I couldn't resist. Late at night, I found myself opening my laptop, typing in her username, and seeing her face staring back at me. She was doing the same things she'd always done. Laughing, teasing, calling some stranger baby. And I hated it, hated her, hated myself, hated the fact that I still cared. I couldn't stop thinking, does she think of me? Does she miss me? Does she ever feel guilty? And then the guilt hit me, not hers, mine. I hated that I still loved her. Hated that my body reacted when I saw her. Hated that I still imagined her sitting next to me, whispering my name. Friends told me to move on. She made her choice, they said. You deserve better. I nodded, smiled, tried to believe it. But deep down, I knew it wouldn't be that simple. Because in every empty room, every quiet night, every dark corner of my mind, she was still there. And I didn't know how to let her go. It hit me slowly, like a tide I couldn't stop. I realized that the thing that broke us wasn't just the cam work itself. It was that she loved it, truly deeply loved it, and no amount of begging, pleading, or ultimatums could change that. For months, I had clung to the idea that if I made her choose, if I demanded it, she would give it up for me. But the truth was brutal, she couldn't. She didn't want to. The camming wasn't just about money or attention. It was her escape, her adrenaline, her thrill. She thrived on the performance, on the power it gave her. And no matter how much I loved her, no matter how much she loved me, that part of her life was untouchable. I remembered the way she looked at me during our last argument. Not guilty, not scared, calm, certain, and that certainty crushed me. I also realized something about myself. I had been living in a fantasy, believing that love could protect me from reality, that the person I loved could be molded to fit my idea of us. But love doesn't work that way. Not when two people want fundamentally different things. And for the first time, I admitted it to myself. She wasn't going to change. And I couldn't accept living in a life where the person I loved was performing intimacy with strangers every day. It hurt more than I can describe. More than anger, more than betrayal. It was a sorrowful clarity, we were incompatible. I loved her. I wanted her. But I couldn't have her. Not fully. And that was the cruelest truth of all. The weeks that followed were painful, slow, and confusing. I moved into a small apartment not far from our old place. It wasn't much, but it was mine, a space where I could breathe without the constant reminders of her. The first few nights, I stared at the ceiling, replaying everything, the laughter, the fights, the way she told me she couldn't give it up. I cried more than I ever thought I would. I hated myself for loving her still, for thinking she might somehow change. But gradually something shifted. I started running in the mornings, long, empty stretches through the city streets. I threw myself into work, late nights of coding and projects, letting my brain focus on something else. Friends called, and I started saying yes again, laughing when I could. Small steps. The pain didn't vanish. It never really will. I still think of her sometimes. I still imagine her laughing at strangers, and it stabs at my chest. But now I understand that her happiness wasn't compatible with mine. That love, no matter how deep, isn't always enough. I learned to find strength in myself, to carve out space for my own life, my own joys, my own intimacy, without shadows of someone else's choices looming over me. And slowly, I began to accept that moving forward doesn't mean forgetting. It means living despite the pain, learning that some love stories don't have a happy ending. And that's okay. Months have passed since I walked away. Life isn't perfect, but it's mine again. I've started dating, slowly, cautiously, carrying the lessons of the past with me. I've reflected a lot on what happened with Anna. I've realized that love isn't just about passion or connection. It's also about boundaries, values, and shared visions of life. You can love someone fiercely, but if your fundamental needs and desires don't align, love alone can't fix it. I've also learned about betrayal in its many forms. Some betrayals are clear-cut, cheating, lies, deceit. Others are murkier, gray areas that twist your heart in ways you can't fully explain. Her cam work wasn't cheating in the conventional sense, but it felt like it to me, because it violated my sense of trust, intimacy, and the unspoken agreements of our relationship. I don't hate her. I hope she's happy. I hope the work she loves continues to bring her joy, even if it can't be with me. But I know now that I deserve a life where my emotional boundaries are respected, where intimacy and love aren't shared with thousands of strangers for a paycheck. To anyone reading this who's faced something similar, love yourself enough to recognize what you need and what you can tolerate. Forgiveness is a gift, but sometimes the greatest act of love is walking away. I walked away, and it hurt. It still hurts sometimes. But I'm alive, I'm growing, and I'm slowly finding pieces of myself I'd lost in the shadows of someone else's choices. And that is enough.